Hey y'all, it's Ashley, sarcastically. Here are my handles. If you're looking for me, if you have any questions, if you need any tips, here is where you can find me. Just type sarcastically into TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I also have a Patreon that is called Sarcastic Pad, where I teach limitless things on Procreate that you can find for free without breaking the bank. So if you're here to learn something, grab a seat, grab your favorite beverage, grab your cutest cup, grab your iPad, grab your pencil, and let's get started. Okay guys, first things first, you want to make sure your pencil is charged. Plug it into the port, watch it pop up. You also want to make sure your iPad is charged first, and then we're going to get started. So I typically like to use a canvas that's square, and then I can size it after. Then I like to choose the color from the color palette. It takes me a while sometimes to choose colors, but eventually I get it together. So you can also play with the colors by saturation, or you can use the disc, like the one that has the circle, and then you choose your brush. After you choose your brush, you squiggle however you want. I like to do short strokes with the airbrush brush. I think it's a medium or a large airbrush brush. And then I just squiggle and swiggle them together until it looks like how I want it to look. And then once I get all of the colors together, I like to blend them a little bit. You see how I'm overlapping it? Just a little bit, just so I get every piece of the white page. See here, I messed up a little bit. 2-tap gesture to undo, 3-tap gesture to redo. Go to the, I don't know how to say it, Gaussian blur. I thought the black would be cute. Turned out, not so much. So delete, 2-finger gesture, undo, 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 undo. Go back to the blur, tap, blur. Pick your poison. Make it as blurry as you like. It's whatever you feel, you know. You can pick any color. You don't have to choose the colors that I chose. If you know me, you know I love me some alcohol ink, girl. Listen, my love for alcohol ink is indescribable. The fact that you can manipulate it, maybe because I feel like I'm in control, because my child doesn't listen to me. So maybe because I feel like I'm in control, you make it do whatever you want it to do. It looks beautiful, clearly on any type of canvas. So now I'm choosing my saying. All I did was hit the wrench, and I went to add, and then I went to add text. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. So every time you want to draw something new on your canvas, you want to add a layer. When you add a new text line, it adds another layer for you. So when you go to the wrench and add text, it just adds another layer for you. Only when you're doing text, as far as I know. So sometimes, depending on how long the text is or how many words my sticker has, I like to do it individually, so I make it look how I want it to versus being in like a paragraph form. So then I just basically go through all of the lettering. I thought I was spelling grateful wrong. I was overthinking it. So clearly I wrote it a few times. I had a long day. So after I figured out how to spell grateful, I basically line up my words. Line up the words, and then make it big. You know how they say big things come in small packages. So the reason why I like to do a big square is because I want my letters to be big. After I sized my letters, I chose my font. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I also want to make sure that the sizing matches the other letters and words how I want it to. And then you squeeze everything that you want together to make it one. And then I was thinking maybe if I group it, it would work. And then I hit group. And I thought it would work, but it didn't. I couldn't remember. So double tap undo, undo, undo. Undo until the group is gone. And then you see on the top there was a drop down that said undo group. So then I center my image to where I want it on my canvas behind it. And then I was deciding if I wanted to do a circle or a square or a heart. And then I just started erasing. I wasn't thinking really. So I just started erasing. Also, when you have two layers with color and then alcohol ink on the top, you see how I deselected one layer and then not select the other layer? Then both layers will not be deleted. You have to put them together just like that. So now I'm deleting what I don't want. Delete, 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 delete. Do, 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 do. And then it didn't make sense. Add another layer. Undo, undo, undo. Start over, Ashley. All right, we're gonna add a new layer. We're gonna put a square. So if you are on Craftic Pad with me, I go over layers, I go over brushes. You want to make sure that you keep what you have if you really like it, because one wrong move can erase everything, can erase everything that you wanted. And then sometimes when you do the gestures, they don't come back, especially if you like go back to your gallery or if you close the program, it doesn't come back. So I added the square on a new layer and then I sized it how I wanted it. My child is trying to take her toys off of my table. All right, so now I'm going to erase the background since I like how the square looks. So you're going to go to that layer, going to hit the erase button, and you're going to erase. When I like a background, I duplicate it just to save it and then make one, like check off one layer to make sure I'm only doing one layer and not both. So if I want to go back and make something else on it, I can. So I'm just going to erase, 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 erase. Okay, now that I have everything erased, I'm going to share as a PNG and make sure you take off the background layer. And I'm going to send my PNG to Bazaart. I'm going to link it in the description. It is something that I found on Pinterest and it does offsets for you. So you're basically going to click your image. It's going to say outline on the bottom. Hit it, choose your color, and then move the gauge however you want to see how big you want your offset. You're going to save it. And then you're going to close. You're going to go back to Procreate. And then you're going to close every layer. Uncheck, uncheck, uncheck. Add a new layer. I like to bring my layers to the top when they're new layers. Just a personal preference. You're going to add. Hit the wrench, hit add, hit insert a photo. And there she is. So if you don't pay for Bazaart, you have the watermark there on the bottom right, as you can see. There's two ways you can get rid of that. So I like to make it bigger. You can just make it bigger to move it outside of the screen, and then use the arrow, and then it will be gone. Or, and on that same layer, size it how you want. Hit the erase button, and then just erase it. Same thing. However you want to do it. Whatever floats your boat. Do your thing. Sticker done. Let's make another sticker. This one I wanted to show you without a background. So I'm just going to type my text. However, whatever I want. So here's where I change the font. You basically want to click the layer which wording you want to change. Tap it, hit the A when the keyboard comes up on your right, and then your fonts come up. I also have a link on my Craftic pad about fonts. If you guys are interested on Craftic pad, you can join me, and then we can go over all of these things again. They say practice makes improvement. So once I have the font that I like, I will size it like I did before, put it however I want it, wherever I want it, and then once I have done that, I wanted to add a little flair to it, so I wanted to add like a little image. I went to Google and I Googled whatever type of image I wanted, and I typed in clip art after it. And then you want to make sure that you choose a clear picture, like nothing pixelated, because it's going to show when you print it. So you're going to add it to your photos. You're going to go back to Procreate. You're going to hit the wrench, hit add, insert a photo, and there is your photo. So fortunately, this photo didn't have a background and I was able to just add it. But there are ways to erase backgrounds, and I have another app for that. But I go over more things like that on Craftic pad if you're interested. Like I talk about Bazaart and Craftic pad. That's coming up in the next weeks. So if you're interested. So I sent my image again to Bazaart just to get the offset. And then I do the same thing. I tap it, choose my outline color, adjust it to how I want it, save it, boom, go back to Procreate, unselect all of my layers, add a new layer, add, insert a photo, there she is. Now, you see all of those spaces in between? It's really your preference, how you like it. Oops, I made a boo-boo. So that little square in between the gauges on the left, it's a color selector. So you hit it and you hover over whatever color you want. So that's what I did. So I hovered and then it became white. And then I basically fill in those little spaces to make the sticker full instead of cutting in between. So I'm just filling in all of the little spaces. And also these little spaces that are like thin. Oh, there's a boo-boo. I have to erase it. So also those little spaces that are in the ends like that, I don't like them cutting too deep into my sticker because sometimes when I take them off the mat, they rip. It's just a personal preference. You don't have to do it. If you like your stickers like that, that's fine. It's just my personal preference. So there is another sticker. Just a simple black and white sticker. Thanks for joining, guys.